Hey, Andy here. I had a question come up a few times in the last week or so. Now that we're in the thick of the 2021 tax return season, we're in February 2022 now, and the question is, can I still do a backdoor Roth for the 2021 tax year? And the answer is sort of, but not really. Let me explain. So as you've seen in my other videos, which I get into in more detail about what exactly is a backdoor Roth, I'll sum it up briefly now. It's in essence when your income is too high that you're no longer eligible to directly contribute money into a Roth IRA. However, you can still get some money into it by way of the quote-unquote back door, which is first, make a contribution to a traditional IRA, specifically a non-deductible, otherwise known as an after-tax contribution to a traditional IRA, and then step two is convert that money over to a Roth IRA. The end result could potentially be the same, that you get money into a Roth IRA that you weren't able to directly put in. You can instead put it in by way of the back door, where the back door is, again, first making a traditional IRA contribution and then converting it over to a Roth. And the way this works, or the reason why it works, I should say, is that unlike with Roth IRAs, where there's an income limit on your ability to make a contribution into it, there is no income limit around the ability to make a contribution to a traditional IRA, specifically with regards to making a non-deductible contribution to the traditional IRA. There are income limits around your ability to make a deductible contribution to the traditional IRA. So don't confuse the two. But anyway, so that's in a nutshell, that's a backdoor Roth. It's just a way to get money into a Roth IRA when you can't contribute directly. So the question again that I've seen a few times is, here we are, February 2022, can I still make a backdoor Roth for 2021? And so this is why I said it depends, but not really. A backdoor Roth is really nothing more than the combination of two separate and distinct other steps. The first step is making a traditional IRA contribution. The second step is then converting that money from the traditional IRA to the Roth. So the yes to part one, you can still make a 2021 traditional IRA contribution, but no to part two. You cannot do a Roth conversion for 2021. Roth conversions need to happen by December 31st of that year. So here we are again, February 2022. If I were to do a Roth conversion, regardless whether you're tag teaming it as part of a, with a traditional IRA contribution to be part of a backdoor Roth or just doing a straight up conversion, point is if you convert now, it's going to be a 2022 tax year event. You cannot retroactively do a conversion. You can retroactively do a contribution. So again, the first step in the backdoor Roth process is make a contribution to a traditional IRA. And yes, you can still do that for 2021. Specifically, you can do it up until the tax return filing deadline. So you have until April 15th. I think this year it's April 18th actually, the filing deadline. And the reason why the IRS does that is because there are income limits around the ability to contribute to IRAs and Roth IRAs in certain circumstances. And they know that you may not know your entire income by the end of the year, so you don't know whether or not you're eligible to make the contribution. So they give you until you start preparing your tax return to know, okay, my 2021 income was $100,000. Now you know retroactively whether or not you were within the income bounds, therefore they allow you to still retroactively make that contribution. So that's that. Can you still make a 2021 backdoor Roth here in February 2022? No, you can do step one. You can still make a traditional IRA contribution for 2021, but you cannot do a conversion for 2021. If you do a conversion, it'll be for 2022. Hope that helps. Take care. See you next time.